It's an unstoppable day, family. Welcome to the Men of Vision and the Power Life Business Conference webinar series. I'm your host and moderator for this series, Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge, with Unstoppable Coaching Services. And we thank you for spending a little time with us, either live or through the replay or through the audio replay that you're going to be listening to later on this week. We were so excited about the upcoming Men of Vision Power Life Business Conference that's happening in April down in Atlanta, Georgia, that we were just busting at the seams. See, we've got so much content, we've got so much information that we want to share with you to help you move to the next level of your greatness through the power of collaboration and working with a team to get to the next level of your greatness, whether it's in your business or your ministry. We just couldn't contain ourselves. We just couldn't hold it for another month and a half. So we decided that we wanted to give you a sneak peek into what we're going to be talking about on the Power Life Business Conference in Atlanta on April 30th. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be doing weekly webinars. We call it the Men of Vision Power Life Business Conference Webinar Series. And we're starting with our powerhouse hitter this evening, none other than the urban leadership strategist, Dr. Ed Womack. Dr. Womack, are you on the broadcast?
Mic check, mic check. I'm up in here, Coach T.
Hey, we hear you loud and clear. How are you doing this evening?
Man, that's kind of a loaded question, Coach T. And, you know, I got to be true to my integrity and say that I really need everybody out there that's a prayer warrior to extend a word of prayer and lift my wife's mom up, who is going through a very difficult time right now, the family back in Detroit. And it's been a very difficult day even getting prepared for this. But I'm functional, I'm moving, and I'm ready to rock and roll tonight. But again, for those prayer warriors out there, if you could, lift my wife and her family back in Detroit, for Miss Patty May, who is actually going through a little bit of a tough time right now, had a stroke. And so we could definitely use all of your prayers and your uplift at this particular moment.
Nothing but a word. That's what makes you unstoppable, Dr. Womack. Despite all the obstacles that may be going on throughout your day, you still showed up tonight to share this critical information with the audience. You could have let this situation hold you back, hold you down, but instead you were unstoppable. And as your book says, you continue to come back from being broken, and you continue to serve your community, and you continue to serve our internet online community. And we thank you so much for sharing what you're going to share with us this evening. So before we jump into that information, we've got a couple of housekeeping rules. As always, with the Men of Vision Business Power Life Conference webinar series, we want you to be interactive. We want you to ask questions. We want you to let us know that what we're saying is making a difference. So above your head, you'll see a couple of different tabs. You'll see the Facebook tab, you'll see the Twitter tab, you'll see the LinkedIn tab. Click on any one of those tabs, because the Men of Vision, we're all about social media. So we want you to go ahead and let your tribe know that you're watching the Men of Vision Power Life Business Conference webinar series. And tonight we are talking about mastering your mindset, mastering the mindset of an entrepreneur. So we definitely want to connect with you entrepreneurs, your up-and-coming entrepreneurs, or even you seasoned ones who still need to work on mastering your mindset. And oh, by the way, if you want to have a deeper conversation with us, then go ahead and click below the picture, and you can go over to the Men of Vision Movement Facebook chat room. One of our founding members, John McClung Jr., is manning the Facebook chat room right now. We're looking forward to say hi to you, get your questions out, and get those answers out there to you so that you can make the most of this webinar tonight. So without further ado, we're going to turn it back over to Dr. Edward Womack, the Urban Leadership Specialist. Dr. Womack?
Hey, everybody out there. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you might be and when you're listening to this particular broadcast of Mindset Mastery of an Entrepreneur. And what we want to share with you tonight is this. You might be sitting on the fence. You may be walking around with a particular idea that's been brewing for a while inside of you. And I'm reminded of understanding that we always need to help people understand, who is this presentation for? So Coach T, if you wouldn't mind, if you could take us into the slide so that we can share as we move along a few poignant points with a little bit of a visual, because we understand that there's different types of learners. There's some that are going to pick up just by the sound of my voice. There's others that are going to pick up on the visuals. But the topic for tonight is the mindset mastery of an entrepreneur. And in order to really understand and embrace the mindset mastery of an entrepreneur, one has to be in a position of, first and foremost, a position of belief. And we got to understand that the person that this presentation is for is that person that may not have clarity of vision, that may be on the brink of losing focus, that may not always seem to understand the things that are necessary to move forward in being a business person. See, because what we want you to also walk away with and understand is that it's not always easy. And so even tonight, as a somewhat seasoned entrepreneur, I had to reach out to my network, Coach T, Johnny Mack, Johnny McClung, and really get some uplift, because I was like, man, I don't even want to do this broadcast tonight. I got stuff going on with my family, my wife, back in Detroit, her mom. But what they said to me was, doctor, we're going to pray about it. We're going to keep it moving. And that may sound fluffy, but what I want you as that entrepreneur that's sitting out there that might have a different struggle, that might have a challenge of people in your ear that are trying to distract you, trying to tell you things like, perhaps you're not the one, or why should somebody want to listen to what you have to say? But as we move to the next slide, one of the first principles that we want to share with you today is that once you get to a point where you believe that you can achieve, then the world will show up, the universe will show up, the resources you need will show up. If you only believe. And first and foremost, if you don't believe, who else will? One of the things I reminded of that Oliver Wendell Holmes once said was, when you expose a man or a woman to a new idea, concept, or experience, it's almost impossible to go back to the way that it was. So once you begin to go through the process of belief and you embrace that as a part of who you need to be in order to be that entrepreneur, when you begin to understand that there are going to have to be sacrifices that are made periodically, there are going to be some differences of opinion that you're going to encounter. I want you to understand that as we move to our next slide and we illuminate the importance of being open to change. See, like Oliver said, that when you expose a man or a woman to some new ideas, concepts, or ideas, they never go back to being the same. That indicates there has to be some level of change. You know, when I was coming out of my fog, before I realized the true essence of who Ed Womack really was, before I became Dr. Ed Womack, before I became the urban leadership strategist, I was a broken vessel, wallowing in self-pity, broke, busted, disgusted, had quit on life, attempted suicide 2 times. And I pray to God that your story and your journey has not entailed such traumatic events. But I know that there's somebody sitting out there today that's a budding entrepreneur that's ready to break through. But because of past situations, past circumstances, we talk ourselves out of it. My book, Back from Broken, wasn't even intended to be a book. In all honesty, Back from Broken started out as a personal inventory, my fourth step in Narcotics Anonymous 12-step program to come back. And by the grace of God, I had people in my path like James Womack, who's a pastor down in Dallas. I had people in my path like MZ Tate. I had people in my path like Zaki from the Trinity House, Big Bethel. I had people like Fahim Martin who were able to love me until I learned how to love myself. But as an entrepreneur, what I need you to understand as you begin to master your mindset, as you begin to develop the belief in yourself, you're going to have to be open to change. You have to change your mindset. You're going to have to change the people that you're around at times. You're going to have to be open to changing the very way that you conduct yourself on a daily basis. And when I think about the necessary steps that have to be taken, I think about the fact that I had to change my playgrounds. I had to change the people I hung out with. I had to change the very things that I allowed my attention to be given to. And there were some sacrifices along the way. But I want you to know this as well. If you choose to believe and you be open to change, I guarantee you that you can find yourself in a situation that'll enable you to begin to act like the giraffe. That's right, act like the giraffe. What you talking about, Dr. Ed? Well, I'm glad you asked that because, see, I oftentimes use the comparison of the turtle and the giraffe. Because, the turtle's vision, and if we can go to the next slide there, Coach T, I think we'll bring everybody up to speed here. Because after you believe and you are open to change, there's a couple of things that you're going to be mindful of. And go to the next slide there, Coach T. I think that's the wrong one. See, when you were comparison or using the comparison of the giraffe and the turtle, see, the turtle is real close to the ground, down low, and have a very limited capability. Limited by virtue of the plane upon which they travel. But that giraffe has the ability to see beyond. The ability to see further than that of the turtle. And so I offer up to that individual that's sitting on the fence today, that's wondering, when, how, is it perhaps my time? Should I step out there? Do I have what it takes? I want to encourage you today that you got to act like you know. You can't be like the turtle. You got to be like the giraffe. You got to look beyond. You got to create a vision for yourself, because when you can visualize it, when you can see it, you can achieve it. When you can see it, it's just yours for the taking. When you can see it, after you've created that vision, then you can begin to put into action the necessary changes that are necessary. You can begin to start to look beyond the circumstances that are currently at play. You can begin to realize, and this was a tough one for me, you begin to realize that if you want to go far, you can't do it by yourself. If you want to go fast, certainly have at it. But if you want to go far, you're probably going to need a team around you. And that vision is going to include those team members. That vision is going to include those milestones. That vision is going to include the necessary steps and strategies in order to take you to that next level of entrepreneurship. So as you begin to walk along this journey of mindset mastery of an entrepreneur, what you need to understand is that you can't worry about where you've been. You can't worry about the encounters or the setbacks that you've had, because I'm reminded of what Dr. Willie Jolly says. One of the things that really, really helped me out in the midst of toiling with, okay, am I good enough? Does anybody really want to hear what I have to say? Is my story of such that perhaps somebody could be liberated? Could I possibly be the aspirin to somebody's headache? When I heard these words from Dr. Willie Jolly, I knew that I knew. He said this. He said, a setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. Come on now, somebody. A setback ain't nothing but a setup for a comeback. And even as I go through this very difficult time with my wife being away, home taking care of her mom being very ill, I have to realize that's a sacrifice. I have to realize that in order to get to that next level, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. As you see your vision, I want you to also understand this. And let's move to that next slide there, Coach T. I want you to understand that as you move through your journey, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to say that again for my note takers that are out there. Go ahead and put it in the Facebook group. It's not going to be easy. Hashtag it ain't easy. Hashtag it ain't easy. Because you know what? If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was not something that was required of you in order to get to that next level, if you didn't have to step outside of your comfort zone, because see, success occurs outside of the comfort zone. If you're just one of those people, I heard Dr. George C. Frazier say in a recent video clip, he said, if you're one of those useless Negroes that watch TV for 10 hours a day, we just waiting for you to die. After I picked myself up off the floor at the fact that he had said it, I actually tried to internalize it. And I thought about it, I'm like, wow, if you're watching TV for 10 hours a day, if you happen to have a job, you work at it for 8 hours a day, there ain't much left for you to be able to do. So I want us to get it from in front of that television, which is not going to be easy for some of us sitting out there in the Men of Vision Power Life Business Empowerment Land today. That's right. I put it out there. You're going to have to step back up off that television that's bombarding our minds with madness, that's bombarding our minds with distractions, which is bombarding our minds with the clutter that prevents us from being able to clearly see our vision. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. And what you need to also understand is that the road to success has a number of failures along the way. Yeah, but again, those setbacks are nothing more than a setup for a comeback if you have the proper mindset and you get yourself engaged with the appropriate circle of influence that can provide you with the necessary guidance, the mentorship, that time where you need to have a sounding board, that time where you need to vent, perhaps even tell you that you are absolutely on the wrong path, but only from those people that are actually proven to be supporters, for people that are proven to have your best interests at heart, for people that are proven that they understand and embrace the vision that you are trying to fulfill. Because see, along this journey of being an entrepreneur, there's going to be the presence of these people that we call player haters. I don't know, have you? My brothers, my sisters, it ain't easy. In fact, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And as I was coming back out of my fog, out of that bout with depression, addiction, selflessness, hopelessness, I never imagined that I'd be able to experience the things that I have over the last 4 or 5 years. I never could imagine when I was sitting in that square in Decatur, Georgia, peering over a pile of ants, ready to throw the towel in, not having a clue as to what it was that I was supposed to be doing, what I wanted to do, what I was capable of doing. I don't know, again, somebody sitting out there today, I pray that that's not your story. But if I can do it, you can do it. If you are willing to adjust the things that are getting your attention and turn them towards something positive. If you are willing to stop listening to the madness that comes from the player haters and open yourself up for change, I'm going to go on record and guarantee you that there is something awaiting you on the other side of your toiling with, do I stay or do I go? Do I stay or do I go? Do I stay or do I go? Do I have what it takes? Absolutely you do. Because, see, my good brother Edward C. Williams says that everybody has a tag. Talents, abilities, and gifts. Everybody has them. And see, what you need to understand is that yours is unique. So you may not be a multimillionaire. You may not be an entertainer. You may not ever see your name in lights. But inside of you, there is a gift that somebody else is just waiting on for you to show up. How long are you going to let the people suffer? How long are you going to prevent them from having your gifts, talents, and abilities be delivered? So here's what we want to do today. We want to challenge you, because that's what we do at the Men of Vision, but not in a way that is demeaning, not in a way that's condescending. We want to challenge you to go find that right coach, to go find that appropriate mentor, to step like there's no tomorrow, and do so although you can't see the entire staircase, as one of my surrogate mentors loves to say. So you got to take that first step even when you can't see the entire staircase. What does that mean? What does that require? That means that you're going to have to blindly, although you've got a vision, but you can't see the end of the road. And see, what I've come to understand and what I want you to know is this, that the fun is not in the destination. The fun is in the journey. And see, along that journey, there are going to be ebbs, there are going to be flows, there are going to be good times, there are going to be bad times, there are going to be some days where you just flat out want to curl up in a fetal position. But as an entrepreneur that's driven, as an entrepreneur that knows that they know that they know that there's a gift, a talent, and ability that can only come from you, you got to keep it moving. You got to keep pressing. Coach T, let's move to that next slide, man. And so once we understand that we have to continue to believe, we got to understand that we got to be open to change. We got to have a vision and realize it's not easy. And so in order to get a deeper look, for the first 10 people today, we want to extend a special offer on behalf of the Men of Vision. And so right now, if you go over to the registration site, you can get the VIP Early Bird Special. And this is going to allow you to be up close and personal with the Men of Vision, Dr. George C. Frazier, Dr. Ruben West, in a very intimate dinner that's going to have entertainment and an opportunity for you to network with some real people that have been doing it, have done it, and are continuing to grow in their respective crafts. So I invite you right now, and we're going to only leave this open to the first 10 people, to go over to the Men of Vision tour page and actually grab that VIP special. And that's only for those people tonight that are on this broadcast. And I want to move on and continue the conversation, because we want to offer you something that our good brother, Dr. John, or not doctor, maybe I'm calling something into existence. I'm speaking it into his future. But this gentleman, Johnny Magnificent Mac, one of the founding members of the Men of Vision, he is SPAN. He is the owner and founder of Self Publishers Authors Network. And through his guidance and through his collaboration with the other founding members of Men of Vision, we have created an opportunity that I'm going to let him share with you tonight. So mic check, Johnny, you there?
Mic check, can you hear me now?
We got you loud and clear, brother.
Well, I'm excited. Let me tell you, Dr. Womack, your story always fascinates me. When I hear that you went to the bottom, you was all the way at the top, and then you chose to go the other direction, and you went down. And when in the process of going down, you found yourself struggling. And all of a sudden, something happened, and you was able to reverse that trend and go back to the top. That's a story that needs to be told, because there's so many people out there that's struggling through situations and circumstances. often of their own making, often that they've created themselves, but nevertheless, they're still in a situation where they find themselves at the bottom, broken. But you can come back from broken. And those are the types of stories that that I'm hearing and I'm vetting right now in the process of putting this collaboration together. Stories of triumph, stories of overcoming, stories of and many of them are stories that come from great beginnings, and they kept the great beginning and turned it into an incredible ending. But your story and stories like yours lets everyone out there that's listening and everyone out there that will read this book, lets them know that they can come back from broken and be better, that they can reach their dreams, and that they can exceed and do everything that they desire and deserve. So in the process of me saying all that, what I want to say is that we have put together a conference, but we put together more than that. We put together a collaborative anthology. There's going to be only room for 15 authors, and we're halfway vetted out now. We have about 10 authors already that have expressed interest, and half of those have already been vetted. So there's a limited opportunity for you to be able to be in a best-selling novel, a best-selling book. And we call it a bestseller because we have through SPAN, we've created a concept called the ABS formula, the automatic bestseller. So we know the book is going to be a bestseller. And with Dr. George Frazier doing the forward and Dr. Ruben West doing the afterwards, and all the men of vision also included, plus people like you out there in the listening and the viewing audience, I promise you this book will be a #1 bestseller. And that's going to give you an opportunity to leverage yourself up so you can push your own brand forward and be able to accomplish and do the things that you have been dreaming of doing. You see, an entrepreneur has a brand, and a part of that brand is the book. A best-selling book will leverage your brand and put you at another level. So this collaborative work that's going forth, we've got a limited time to receive submissions and approvals. So we want you to just take this time right now to reach out, go to info@menofvisionmovement.org. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's where you're going. info@menofvisionmovement.org, and that will take you to our exclusive, our inclusive brand. Yeah, that's go live at info@menofvisionmovement.org. Tell us that you're interested. Become a best-selling author. Be a part of this awesome collaboration, and we'll see you in Atlanta. Back to you, Coach T.
So actually, they need to, if you're interested. So as we showed on the previous slide, this is a $697 value.
Hold up.
Special for tonight.
What's wrong with? What's the special for $297 tonight? Are you serious?
$297 tonight for those that are on this call. If they send a letter of interest, so that means you have to give us a quick snippet of why it is you believe you should be included in this amazing Power of Collaboration book. And again, Dr. George C. Frazier is going to be writing the forward. Dr. Ruben West, who happens to be my personal speaking coach of Black Belt Speakers, he's also the #1 protege of Mr. Les Brown. He's going to be at the conference as well. So to be included in such a writing, but not only will you be included in a book, what you get with that is the opportunity to be wrapped around with all the services that you need. You've got a technical consultant, you've got accountability coaches, you've got potential mentors, and we're going to talk to you during one of our sessions on how to actually pick a coach or a mentor. We're going to help you with brand and market your business. So next week we'll be talking about branding and marketing. So it's not just a book opportunity. It's not just to be able to say that you're cool and in the mix. What we're offering to you with this collaboration is the ability to establish yourself, and for even that seasoned author. We've got platforms. I've got a radio show. Coach T's got the Next Level Living show. Johnny Magnificent Max got a radio show. And, should I let the cat out the bag?
Go ahead and let the cat out the bag. It's already close.
Should I let the cat anyway? I'm going to let the cat out the bag because, I kind of already put it. March 26th, guys, King Code, co-starring yours truly, will be hitting cable TV on the People TV network.
Ooh, stop it.
In Georgia. So not only do we have a radio show 2 radio shows. We've got online broadcasts. We've got a network based on just the power of collaboration. And I want to share a bit of a story before we get out of here tonight, with regard to what is actually taking place inside of the Men of Vision alone.
Okay.
So Johnny Magnificent got a hold of the fact that one of our founding members, when he first came into the Men of Vision, had been sitting on his book for well over a year.
At least a year, if not
At
more.
least a year. Another member in that same founding members group had been sitting on his book for multiple years.
Way more than 2.
Within 6 months, within 6 months' time, there were 3 Amazon bestsellers created. So those 2 individuals made it to the Amazon bestseller status, and then we as a collaborative group had an Amazon bestseller as well, all within a matter of 6 months. Now, as an individual that is included in this Power of Collaboration book, the deadline is February 21st, folks. But tonight, you can get this $697 value for being on this webinar tonight for the low, low cost of $297.
Now that's collaboration at its best.
I mean, I don't know what else it would require, Johnny. I mean, is there anything else you want to add, Johnny, to that? I mean,
Well, when you got a $400 savings, we're talking about almost a third off. We're talking about positioning you with the likes of Dr. George Frazier. And if you don't know who Dr. Frazier is, shame on you. He wrote Success Runs in Our Race. He wrote the book Click, which I'm reading right now. Dr. Frazier is not only an icon, he is a transformational thought leader that puts on the Power Networking Conference every year. It's going to be in Prince George's County in May. Listen, I promise you, being included just with him alone writing the forward is going to give you clout and credibility. But we want to give you prominence and prestige so that you can leverage your brand. We're talking tonight about the mindset of an entrepreneur and improving and increasing the mindset of an entrepreneur. And Dr. Womack said it so very well. You can position yourself, but if you're not in position, if you don't take advantage of the opportunity, and when an opportunity is given to you at that much of a marked discount and still giving you all of the credibility, all of the functionability of being a best-selling author, I am a salesman, so I'm going to back off because they say sometimes I get a little bit too salesy. But I promise you this is one of those times when you need to just operate in a suspension of disbelief and move forward and reap the benefits and the blessings that's being offered to you. I'll stop.
Man, thank you so much, Johnny. You know what? And it's amazing to have Johnny's spirit, Johnny's energy around us, because some of us, when we first came into the Men of Vision collaboration, we were nowhere near as driven as some of us have become, and others of us are growing into it. Now, that's not always a good thing, because there's some of us that need to bring it a little bit on occasion. But see, that's the beauty of collaboration, because my brothers have actually been able to tell me, dude, you need to tone it down a little bit. And on occasion, I listen. There are occasions where I don't, but if I never had them around, and see, that's what we are all about as the Men of Vision, is understanding the power of collaboration versus competition.
Well, Dr. Womack, sometimes as an entrepreneur, we have to learn how to engage our inner aggressiveness, our inner power that you bring, and that collaborative effort that you bring. Because I know coming in, I was driven, but there was a lot that I was a little timid about, and that I was unwilling to engage in, and just being and having the benefit of your power and of your insight and of your spirit, I've been able to ratchet and to leverage my game up to that point too. And that's what we're offering in this Power Life conference. We're offering people the ability, the opportunity to take advantage of the power of collaboration that we've discovered, and be able to leverage ourselves to another level without trying to pull other people down in a competitive spirit. And that's powerful.
That is powerful. And I think we need to go on record and make it clear, and I apologize for not having done this before. The Power Life Business Empowerment Conference is for male and female.
It's open for both. Yes.
The complement of super talented women that are joining us.
Oh,
And I mean, I'm gonna just take a moment and just rattle
please,
off some of
please.
the amazing women that are joining us. We've got Aisha L. Ferguson, the iconic woman that's joining us. We've got Yvette McGee's former Miss Wheelchair USA. We've got Dr. Angelic Muhammad, from Inspire All that's joining us. We've got A.L. Cooper. I got to get it right. I can't. Man, she chastised me the other day.
Well, she should.
She said, "Can I get my brand name out there?" I'm absolutely, you can. A.L. Cooper from Talking Out Loud Radio here in Atlanta, Georgia, and then we've got Miss Aaliyah Butler out of this area. And did I get it right that time, Coach T?
Oh yeah, you got it right. She is the purpose midwife.
The Purpose Midwife. So not only will you get to hear from the men of vision, but there are also some amazing women. So this conference that's coming up on April 30th, 2016 at the Cobb Galleria in Marietta, Georgia, you really need to be there. If you are contemplating being an entrepreneur and you have any holes in your strategy, in your plan, in your aspirations, in your understanding of how to get there and who you might need to have come alongside you, you need to be at the Power Life Business Empowerment Conference on April 30th, 2016. Coach T, I'm going to turn it back over to you to close us out, man. This has been an amazing opportunity, amazing time this evening, and we'd be remiss if we didn't leave you with this. Good, better, best. We can't let it rest until our good is our better and our better is our best. And I promise you this, if you come to the Power Life Business Empowerment Conference, we'll see you at the top. Bottoms entirely too crowded, y'all. Peace.
Wow, 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 wow. Great information. Just want to make sure we get that information out there to you again. We have the VIP special going on where you can get to the conference and be a very important person for just $75 tonight. That upgrades you to VIP status, where you get to not only be a part of the conference, but you get to spend time with the speakers, Dr. George Fraser, Dr. Reuben West, Dr. Ed Womack, Johnny Magnificent Mack, Terrence the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge, and John I Am a Testimony McClung, and Edward C. Power Life Williams. You get to have that one-on-one time with them where we can help collaborate with you towards getting to the next level of your greatness. But oh, that is not it. You also have the opportunity to collaborate with us on the next Amazon best-selling book that's going to come out in 2016, The Power of Collaboration. It's a $697 value, y'all, but for tonight, for those who take massive action right now and send us a letter of interest to info@menofvisionmovement.org, you can get in on the Amazon best-selling Power of Collaboration book for the small sum of $297. Not $397, not $497, not even $597, $297. And you'll be leveraging your expertise with the expertise of 15 other already up-and-coming authors or established authors. And Johnny Magnificent said it to you earlier. You want to leverage that kind of possibility. You know, entrepreneurs, the mindset of an entrepreneur is to work smarter, not harder. And there is no better way to work smarter than to have other people working for you. And if you are a part of the Power of Collaboration book, you are leveraging the power of 14 other authors who are not only going to be promoting the book for themselves, but they're going to be promoting the book for you. That is third-party validation that you just can't beat with a stick. So I encourage you to take advantage of all of these offers that we are bringing to you tonight, because they're going to go fast. It's not just for everybody. It's for those people that are willing to take massive action. And just a personal story, I was one of those people that worked with Johnny Mack that was walking around with a book in a journal for over a year. And it was only until I reached out to a coach, because even coaches need coaches, and everybody on this call will tell you that same story. In every shape, form, we need help. We need someone to collaborate with. We need someone who is on a different level than we are, that has done the things that we're trying to do, and that are living the life that we want to live. And that's what the Men of Vision is all about. We are about collaboration, not competition. And we want to collaborate with you to take you to the next level of your greatness. So we want you to show up and show out at the Minivision Power Life Business Conference on April 30th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Cobb Galleria. But we also want you to show up and take massive action right now. If you are an up-and-coming author, a thought leader, or a coach, speaker, presenter that wants to share your message on a wider scale, then come on, info@minivisionmovement.org. And before we leave the broadcast, we're going to put those sites up again so that you understand where you need to go to. But Dr. Womack, do you have any closing thoughts that you want to share with the audience before we wrap it up again?
Coach T, I just want to really impress upon all of our listeners out there, whether you're listening to this live or if you happen to catch one of our various replays that we're going to have out there for this particular segment. Thursday night, we'll be offering a replay. And if you know some people that don't really get into the technology thing and they prefer a phone call or a conference call, we're going to actually have an audio replay of this particular broadcast in each subsequent week. So we just want to say thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you guys at the conference. And seriously, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg tonight and in each of our weekly series, just to give you kind of an idea of the depth of what's coming, the multifaceted areas that we're going to be able to pour into you, that we're going to give you exact strategies, blueprints, and experiential living to help you move to the next level of your greatness as you become that entrepreneur that is going to change lives, that can possibly change the world. That's all I got, Coach T.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, either live or via the replay. Come back again Thursday. We're going to have the audio replay for those of you who want to listen to it again, who wants to get those tips on how you can have a bigger belief. Get those tips on how you can be open to the change in your life that's necessary as an entrepreneur, and get those great tips that Dr. Womack gave you on how to create that vision. Hey, it's one thing that I know. A vision without action remains a dream. Stop dreaming in 2016 and create that vision so you can live your life on the next level of your greatness. And as I like to always say, I don't want you to just have a great week. I want you to have an unstoppable week. We're going to put up that next slide with the information on how you can get to the links for the Power of Collaboration book, as well as to register for the Power Life Business Conference on April 30th. And until we connect again, make it an unstoppable week.